faces, welcome to the Viral Report. I'm Lamar. Alright, so it's Black History Month. Although I don't celebrate Black History Month, I celebrate Black History Year because our influence and our greatness is a year-long love affair and not limited to the shortest month of the year with only 28 days. Nope. So, social media is going crazy, everyone, over a new debit card from One United Bank. Now, One United Bank is one of the largest Black-owned banks in the United States. One United Bank recently released several limited edition holographic debit cards, and the Harriet Tubman one happens to be their most sought-after card. And I'm actually feeling the artwork on these cards. If you haven't seen the cards, take a look. Pretty good looking card, right? And people are running to get their hands on these cards. One United Bank is saying that they're seeing growth 10 times its normal volume. People in the US have been advocating to place Harriet Tubman on something dealing with currency for a while now. Remember a few years ago when there was a controversial plan to replace Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill with Harriet Tubman? That was supposed to happen in 2020. However, Trump, powerful white lawmakers, and Treasury officials quickly shot that decision down.
I think Harriet Tubman is fantastic. I would love to leave Andrew Jackson and see if we can maybe come up with another denomination. Maybe we do the $2 bill or we do another bill. I don't like seeing it. Yes, I think it's pure political correctness.
That was then candidate Donald Trump back in April of 2016 after the Treasury announced abolitionist Harriet Tubman would be the new face of the $20 bill. But this week we learned the redesigned currency will not debut next year as originally planned. Here is what Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin told Congress.
The primary reason we've looked at redesigning the currency is for counterfeiting issues. Based upon this, the $20 bill will now not come out till 2028.
So do you believe that, do you support Harriet Tubman being on the $20 bill?
I've made no decision as it relates to that, and that decision won't be made as I said, till
but there was a community process. There was a community process.
Again, it's a decision of the Secretary of the Treasury. Right now, my decision is focused on security features.
When the redesign was announced, officials wanted the new bill to come out in 2020. It's the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote.
After that, the Treasury Department ended up adding 2028 as the release year for the bill, just long enough for everyone to possibly forget. But make no mistake, Black America will be waiting, watching, and revisiting this topic in the year 2028. Now, let's move quickly on to talk about why you should invest in a Black or Latino bank. In this part, we'll be mostly talking about Black banks. The most important thing is the information is the same for Latino banks as well. Now, let's quickly talk about why you should invest in a Black or Latino bank. Now, in this part of the video, we'll be talking mostly about Black banks, but the information is the same. The 2008 financial crisis placed a big dent in the little wealth and retirement accounts Black people had, and our home values took a major hit as well.
The reality is that the greatest bleed off of Black wealth occurred in that housing bubble when it burst, and Black people and brown people, but especially Black people disproportionately, lost millions upon millions of dollars.
In fact, we were told that Black America, it will take us 2 generations to recoup just that which was lost.
That which was lost, not even talking about any new accumulation. We did not press the Obama administration. The Obama administration, because of its racial procrastination and its unwillingness to be specifically racially targeted in its policies. And as a result of that, the interests of African American people in regard to housing was severely diminished.
Angela, I really don't think people just understand how deep this thing is. So in 2014, the Wall Street Journal does a story saying that $23.09 billion in small business loans was handed out in 2013. African Americans only got $385 million of that $23.09 billion. Part of the problem is that when African American businesses were going in to get loans, the only collateral they had was their home. No home, no loan, no business.
And this is one of those these issues that now, the more that I look at it, it really bothers me that we haven't learned from history. There's a speech, and I keep going back to this, and I've cited it in several speeches I've given this year since Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King delivered this speech in 1967, where do we go from here? In that speech, he tells us that we need to lean into our own institutions. Those institutions are black banks. Those institutions are black businesses, our community organizations. Hunker down and support ourselves. Why? Because far too often, the large banks that benefited from the disastrous housing crisis, that did not look out for us, that were borderline criminal, that would not lend to us through this small business program. The 7A program is bolstered by those large banks, is now bolstered by this Steve Mnuchin's friends. So that's the real issue. If our banks had our resources in them, if we were banking black, then they would not have been just slaughtered in the 2008 recession. If we were banking black, we would have access to capital because they lend to us when my bank, for example, did not lend to me, even though they said that all my numbers were good. We have to start looking at ourselves and saying, what are we doing that we could be doing differently? How do we support our own institutions? How do we support our own businesses? If you don't have a bank account at a black-owned bank, I encourage you to do that today.
Can I just say that TV One State of Black America discussion was everything? If you have not seen the full clip, I highly recommend YouTubing it. You will not be disappointed. It is the truth. All right, so I know I've been personally exploring placing my money in a black-owned bank for the last year, and I want to share what I've learned. So hashtags like Buy Black, Move Your Money, Bank Black, and Support Black Businesses have been on the rise for the last few years. And for African Americans banking at a black-owned bank, it has its benefits. And here's 4 benefits. 1, black banks are vital to the growth of our communities. 2, you can take advantage of opportunities for financing a business, home, personal, or auto loan. 3, you get to build relationships and do business with people who look just like you. And 4, you can take advantage of interest rates that beat large banking institutions. Who wouldn't want that? Black-owned banks and banks that work to serve Latinos are great to invest your money in because they work to serve and give back to the community in which you live. So the best thing we can do to support these banks is to make them our go-to for credit card accounts, explore home ownership, and business loans. Those actions create more access to capital that can support and finance the dreams within your family and your communities across the nation. All right, so we reached the part of the video where I want to know what you think. Let me know your thoughts on Black and Latino-owned banks. I want to know your thoughts on One United Bank's new limited edition debit cards. And lastly, do you bank at a Black-owned bank? Let me know in the comment section below. I love you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
The viral report. You
Pop these niggas like
who the
you're so evil.
Quit playing. I didn't do this.
Man, we about to get this party started. If you made it this far in the video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe, like, and that notification bell. It ain't a party until you subscribe. I love you for watching, and I'll see that beautiful face in the next one.